Good morning and welcome on the sunrise drive, and there's nothing really like starting your sunrise with a nice big pride of lions. My name's Brent. I've got Andrew on camera and Tara and oh sorry, the lions are distracting me. Tara and Nikki are in final control this morning. So it's been an incredible way to start the morning. So last night I heard this pride calling for the first time probably about 8:30, 8:45, and they were quite far to the west of where we are now, and slowly over the night I've woken up a few times and listened to them as they've moved towards this area, and also there've been two males roaring to the east, so hopefully they'll be coming through to join. But for those of you not sure, we're on a live safari, sunrise safari here at Nkuhuma Private Game Reserve. We're completely surrounded by lions at the moment, and the sun's just popped up over the horizon. And for those of you who might be new, welcome. Also to let you know, apart from being live, so you're seeing everything that I'm seeing, we're also interactive, so you're able to send me questions while I'm on drive, and you can do that via email using questions@wildearth.tv, or you can use the hashtag #SafariLive if you're on Twitter. But for now, I think let's pan back to the lions. We're going to move around so we can get some nice morning light on their faces. So this is the Nkuhuma pride. Nice to see them back again. They seem to be spending a bit more time with us after sort of an extended hiatus, visiting other properties. So it looks like they have eaten, but nothing too big. So what's quite nice is it's quite early and quite cool. Just before we went live, there was quite a lot of action of them playing. So we're hoping that it's still cool enough that they might play some more. Oh, still on a thorn. There's a lilac-breasted roller who's not too happy about the lions. Yeah. So interesting to see which way they move from here, whether they're going to head down towards the dam, or stay up on the crests here and just lie up for the day. This is quite a popular spot with lots of animals, so there's often wildebeest and zebra up here, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the distance. There's a bird calling. That's a Shelley's Franklin, one of my favorite calls in the bush. How we were taught to remember it when we were kids is that to drink a beer, to drink a beer, to drink a beer. So those of you wondering what that clicking is, get ready. It looks like they're going to play. I'm just going to move the vehicle quickly. Get ready, going to swing around to the left. See this? She's going to use the car to stalk them. So it just looked like the one line that might stalk and play and jump on the other. That's why we moved the car quite quickly there. We've got lions on the move now all around us. Go to these two, left. You can see it's nice and cool, so they still might play quite a bit, chase each other around. Good morning, Boularay and Pam. Boularay and Pam are asking whether this is the quarantine clearings. You are correct. We're on the sort of south and eastern corner of quarantine clearings. Good morning, Rame, who's tweeting us this morning. Rame would like to know if two males came across this group, would the young male be ousted? Rame, it depends on whether they are the possible fathers of that young male. If they are, he probably will be ignored for now, but in a year or two's time, he might be ousted. And he's being a proper young male lion and being very lazy and watching the rest of the pride walk off. So he's lying up there. We're going to stick with the... I'll just let Andrew give you a shot of him. There we go. He's standing up to come join them now. So we're going to stick with the girls just in case all the... We're going to stick with the ladies. They look like they're going to be more active. They're going into a little bit of a thicket there. They are still playing and moving. I'm just trying to keep ahead of them for a couple of reasons. Firstly, to get the best views for you guys, and secondly, if they do come across anything to hunt, we'll be in the best position to watch it. Seems like my shuka is bringing us lion luck at the moment. For those of you not sure what a shuka is, it's this red blanket that I'm wearing, which is a Maasai, traditional Maasai sort of warrior dress. It's also warm, quite cold this morning. I think it was 16 degrees Celsius. For a moment there I thought the one lioness might have spotted something and she was spreading out, but doesn't it? Just looks like they're moving. always wonderful to catch them in this early morning light, and when they're moving rather than sleeping, because if any of you guys have watched a lot, and I know there's a few of you out there, lions most of the time, for most of the time, sleep quite a lot. They can sleep on average about 20 hours a day, so it's always fantastic to be with them while they're on the move. So I'll give you an idea how close they are to us.
There's two right behind us also.
Oh, there's two right behind us, walking down the road right behind us. So we're actually boxed in by lions at the moment. So they're probably no more than, the closest one's no more than about 2 meters, which is about 6 foot. Oh, looks like they're going to actually jump and play right next to us. So very close to Andrew at the moment. Oh, hello.
That's close. Well,
that's close. She probably came about a meter from us. Wasn't that amazing? There's still one more. Any more behind us, Andrew?
Negative.
Oh, look at that playing! Isn't that wonderful? And that with that backlighting, walking almost due east into the sunrise. Look. Oh, isn't that spectacular? So that's a wonderful thing about being able to follow lions in the early morning when it's cool. But they are a bit more active. They tend to play, and they're not too full. So at the moment they're playing a bit more. What I'm hoping they do is they head straight east from here. Oh, we've got the young male coming up behind us. So we're going to let the other vehicles have a turn in the front wheel. There are two other game drive vehicles here, so we do take turns showing the best spot. So I'm going to let the other vehicles come in front of us, and I'm going to try duck around through the bush to get ahead of them again. No problem. Cheers, enjoy. Morning. Okay, we're gonna just duck ahead quickly through the bush, take a shortcut. So hold on. Hold on. Oops, sorry, Andrew didn't see that stump. Okay. So yeah, one of the most important things you learn in your guiding career is how to position yourself correctly. And that's not only for photographs and that. It's also to be in the best spot when the action happens, and that's really important. So now we're ahead of the lions. If they happen to stumble onto a buffalo, we're going to know about it before the lions do, so we can position ourselves accordingly so we're in a safe position and we get to see the action. Lioness in front and then another lioness walking down the road to the left. Nice thing is while they're sitting here and the others are moving in towards them, there might be a bit of gamemanship, a bit more playing. It's still quite nice and cool. So we've got 4 lines here, 5, 6, 7. Can't see one, that's all. Just to get ready, there you see that lioness in the grass. There you go, 8. Tighten up ahead, the lioness in the grass. There we go. Forward. There we go. Oh, not too serious playing, but that looks like the 2 young females of about a year old. Oh. Good morning, Sandy from Texas. Sandy would like to know, while we reposition the vehicle, do we run the risk of interfering in a possible hunt? There is always that risk, Sandy, but being ahead of what's happening gives you the option of not interfering, because you must remember that the animals here, the zebra and giraffe and whatnot, don't really take much notice of the vehicles. So being ahead, we can sort of position ourselves that we don't give away the lions, and we don't chase the animals onto the lions. So it's always a difficult one, Sandy, but that's where years of experience and very good mentors come in as sort of teaching us that type of stuff. So generally not, Sandy, at driving directly behind the lions, that would probably more often give them away or not, and it all just depends on the situation. You have to read each situation individually. You can't do the same thing every single time, because every situation is different. looks like they're going to go into the riverbed. We saw them sleeping around this riverbed about a week ago. Hopefully they go into the river at a slightly easier place to access than last time. The young male's just behind us. Oof. So they actually were found sleeping, well, probably not even 100 meters away from them, from where we are now the last time that I saw them. So young male's finally caught up. You can see how much, even though he's a young male, he's physically quite a lot bigger than the lionesses already. And there we go, the rest of the pride sneaking past very close to Andrew. Good morning, Siberia, one of our zoomies. Welcome on driver this morning. So we would like to know which pride this is. This is definitely the Nkuhuma pride. And would like to know the age range through the pride. It's quite difficult for me to judge the age of the lionesses. As I said, I haven't known this pride for too long. But I would guess they are between... Well, actually, I've got the right man to ask here now. So just give me a second, and you might hear me chatting to Texan, the guide from Juma, and he'll be able to give me a bit more information on that. Home for? The oldest lioness in this pride, how old, more or less?
Over 10.
Over 10?
Yeah.
And then somewhat around 6?
6 years.
Okay. There we go. So thanks very much, Tex. So the oldest lioness in this pride is just over 10, and then the other older lioness is around 6. Then the two young sub-adult females probably around a year, and the young male's probably just under 3 now, 2.5, 3 years old. So I hope that answers your question there. Thanks very much for the question. We are on online, and it's www.wildsafarilive.com or www.wildearth.tv. It's quite nice sitting here on the edge of the drainage line. We're getting quite a bit of the bird calls as well. I don't know if you guys can hear that high pitched. It's a black-headed oriole. Quite a pretty bird. Good morning, Steve from Boston. Thanks very much for your question, Steve, and welcome on your sunrise safari. Steve would like to know, is it unusual for a pride of lions at this time of the year not to have any young cubs? Well, Steve, lions are not seasonal breeders. They breed throughout the year. I haven't heard of any of these females coming to estrus and mating, so it's not unusual. The lions will go through periods where they don't have young cubs. The youngest here are probably around a year, so that lioness is probably not. Well, she might actually be coming to estrus in the next couple of months, but without having spent sort of years with the pride, it's very difficult to learn the estrus cycles of females. It's that lovely soft morning light on her face. Go ahead, F. What's the lineup for you? Everything you can make your way? Is your hand from her?
I don't know where he's from. Jan coming?
So, oh, it's actually quite an interesting bird calling. I'm not sure whether you guys can hear it. I know RC from the Netherlands was quite happy. It was bird number 155 on LiveSafari drives, and barred owlet. When we move away from the lines, then I'll play you the call. Are you in Fambatla?
Yeah, I will go, but I will.
Can you just Nkuhuma with me with wow, if I can see Gatle from the Ndlela?
Yeah, but.
Sorry, what's your radio again?
Yeah, okay. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Yep. WildSafari live. Oh, no, now you confused me. Just WildEarth.tv is, yeah. And then it's www.
It's www.wildearth.tv.
Yeah, and then the other one is.
WildEarth.tv.
Yeah.
And then WildSafari Draft.
No, it's live. No, it's WildSafari Live.
WildSafari
Oh,
Live.
there we go. Oh, looks like she's seen something.
WildEarth.tv. Just type that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, or go to Google and type WildEarth Safari and it'll be the top one.
What is she seeing?
And should have out. Share Martin.
And then, okay. Cheers, everyone. So, guys, I don't think they're going to probably move too much from here, but obviously it's your safari, so you can decide whether we should stay or go look for something else, and you can do that by sending what you'd like to do via email to questions@wildearth.tv, or you can just use the hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. Should we stay or should we go? So from the calls I heard last night, for those of you who might have joined us a bit late this morning, I heard these lions calling for the first time probably, I'd guess, at around 9:30, quarter to 10 last night, and they've slowly been moving from the west. And then this morning, literally, we hadn't been out 5 minutes, and we bumped into them on the quarantine clearings. And we've had a wonderful morning following them playing, but now they've come down to the edge of the drainage line, and it's quite likely that they're just going to rest up here. Good morning, Virginia. Thanks very much for joining us this morning on this sunrise safari. Virginia would like to know, at what age does a male lion reach its mane reach its maximum size? Well, Virginia, that's quite a difficult one, but it's probably around 5 or 6 years old. But you must remember that all lions have different manes. So some don't ever get those really big manes. I mean, if we look at the two Matimbas we see quite often, you can see the variation in mane just between those two, and those are coalition members. So normally probably about 5 or 6, but it does depend entirely on the individual. There are parts of Africa where you find maneless males, or males with manes sort of very similar to what this young male has when they're 5 or 6 years old. So it can vary quite a lot. So what's more than likely going to happen is they're going to be in this general area. They might move up towards Nkuhuma Dam, so you zoomies, be on alert. But I think that if they do that, that's probably going to be later in the afternoon. And they're probably going to lie around here. They might move a little bit into sort of the quarry thickets for a bit of shelter as it gets warmer, but I think they sort of found their general area where they will spend the majority of the day. Lazy lions. Good morning, Sandy from Indiana. Sandy would like to know if you can tell the health of a lion from the condition of its coat. In certain circumstances, yes, Sandy. A condition on an animal like a lion shows more in the sort of skeletal structure. When they're in bad condition, you'll see the ribs, their hips will stick out and be very, very pronounced. And in some cases you can see sort of patches on the fur and that, but normally I would say you just look at the general sort of condition of a lion. Would be looking at its weight and how much the muscles have sort of, if they've lost muscle definition and things like that. So guys, we've been quite spoiled. There are quite a lot of other game drives out this morning who would like to make their way here. So we're going to go have a look for something else and give the other game drives a chance to come in here. Ephraim coming. Aubrey coming. Any stations standing by for these Ngala coming? Good morning, Blair from Canada. Blair saying she's noticed when the lions are walking, the male lion tends to hang back, and she would like to know whether is that because the lionesses will instigate the hunt. Blair, a lot of that just depends on who's hungry. Male lions, once they leave the pride, quite often will do quite a lot of hunting by themselves. And they are very, very important when it comes to hunting larger prey like buffalo, hippo, giraffe and elephants. But generally you could say, as a normal rule, a lot of the lionesses will do the instigation of the hunting. Okay, so the vehicles arrived. We're going to make space for them. We can definitely come back later on the drive and check on the lions, and that's a question from Judy on Twitter. We will definitely check. They probably are going to be sleeping, but we will definitely check later, Judy. Morning, F.
How are you?
Good, thanks. Have you been to those England?
Yeah, this is the room over there.
Is there can I buga gahle from the Ndlelo?
Nah. Even you inside the city, the same thing. You can't see nothing.
Okay.
Only me see yes, you can see.
And there's a console for the Madash?
I had a guy check by the Madash now. Might be like in the way.
Ish. I found out those things. Okay. Thanks for enjoy. So, you heard me there just chatting to Ephraim, one of the other guides. I was just finding out updates from other places around. I think we're going to go, I heard a report to some elephants a bit earlier, not too far down the drainage line, so we're going to have a look there. Steph coming. update for those who might have joined a little bit late. Just left in Nkuhuma Pride. We had a wonderful view of them at sunrise, playing and lying out in the open areas of quarantine. And now they've moved down towards the drainage line where they found a sort of cooler spot. And I think they're probably going to sleep there for the rest of the day. We will have a double check on our way back this morning to just see if they have moved, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to move too far. We've got a question from Tony in Nashville. Morning, Tony. Welcome on Drive. Tony would like to know, do animals have a unique scent that you by? Well, Tony, they do have a unique scent. I don't think our human sense of smell is good enough to track them by though. Leopard scent marks do smell like popcorn, so sometimes you might be able to find the leopard tracks from the smell and then track from there. Sorry guys, got the game drive talking in my ear. I'm just listening to the updates. Okay, right. So, but the one animal I know I have tracked by smell is western lowland gorillas in the Central African rainforest, because it's so difficult to see the tracks in the rainforest because of all the leaf litter and that. So we actually track them by the smell because they're very, very flatulent, and you actually smell that, and that's how we used to find them quite often. Good morning, Karen. Thank you very much for your email this morning. Karen would like to know, when I go tracking on foot, do I carry any mace or weapons? And how close is the closest hospital? Karen, it's quite a difficult one. I don't normally carry any weapons or whatnot. I might pick up a stick to throw, and more of that is to distract the animal if I do decide that the area is getting a bit hairy. And the closest hospital is probably Tinswalu, which is about 40-50 kilometers, I think. Or actually could be a bit more than that. But yeah, no, I personally don't. But you must realize that a lot of us who do a lot of the tracking on foot, we've had years of experience in the bush, and in a lot of the places that we've carried rifles or carried firearms, it's because it's a legal requirement, not because we actually want to. None of us actually want to shoot any of the animals we're tracking, so it's a legal requirement in a lot of places. But no, generally if I'm tracking on foot by myself, I will not carry a rifle or mace or anything like that. You want to trust your experience and your instincts, that you know what to do in those situations. Steph, come in. Tweeting us this morning. Anne would like to know whether there have been any wild dog sightings recently. And Mark had an unbelievable sighting last night of wild dogs, hyena and leopard all in the same sighting. Unfortunately, those wild dogs have crossed west. The tracks were followed this morning and they've left the area. But I was very, very jealous of Mark having that sighting of all those animals. He had the wild dogs trying to bite and chase hyenas, leopards up in the tree. So it was it's such an amazing sighting. Followed up on that Cumbrian dwarf. So that herd of elephants was seen in this general area. So let's go see if we can find them again. Let's see. Morning, Diana, Donnery and Ginny are all dogs fight quite often, and the wild dogs bite hyenas very often. I've never really seen any permanent damage, so it's unlikely, but I cannot say for sure. Scott or Steph coming. I heard a report to these elephants around here. So what I'm probably going to do is just go forward a little bit. I'm just going to switch off the car and keep quiet for 30 seconds to a minute to see if I can hear them feeding. Well, I can't hear anything. It was quiet a lot earlier that those elephants were seen. So let's keep checking. And there's a spot I always like to check when I come down this particular road. To see, nice cool morning. I think the resident of the hole might be present. There's a dead knobthorn coming on the right. No, he's not there this morning. No, he is there. Look very carefully in the hole. See the hole there?
Yeah.
It's him.
Yeah.
So he's just, the sun hasn't got to his side of the tree yet. So he's still inside the hole. There's a rock monitor, a monitor lizard, who's there we go. You can just see him. He's still inside the hole. So when the sun comes around the corner of that tree, he's going to probably pop out and bask a bit. So it's quite nice when we get to know certain spots where certain animals like to hang out, and this is a favorite of this particular monitor. Scott told me actually it was originally a woodlands kingfisher nest, so it's been taken over, and it's possible that this monitor might have eaten the eggs or even the chicks, and it makes a nice spot for the winter months. So I'm sure the kingfishers have layered it with feathers and other nice warm things. So good spot for a monitor lizard. So this is the sort of terrestrial version of the monitor lizard. We do have a water monitor, or a Nile monitor. It's far more reliant on the water. So there's a vehicle coming up behind us. I'll just show them where it is and we'll carry on. The monitor in the hole there. Oh, I can smell some elephants, and that's what we're on the hunt for. Stefan or Scott coming. So it definitely doesn't look like the elephants have gone to the north. So I'm guessing they might have moved down towards that drainage line that runs from Buffelshoek Dam. I keep getting a whiff of elephants though. Quite strong smelling creatures. Well, their dung is at least. What I'm going to do is head down towards that drainage line, and then we're going to turn off again for a little bit and listen. So, for those of you who might be new or just signed in, my name is Brent. I'm your live safari guide, and we are on a live safari here at the moment in Nkuhuma Private Game Reserve in South Africa. So we're live. Everything I see, you see. We also are interactive, so you can send me questions while I'm on drive. You can do that by using email, and the email address is questions@wildearth.tv, or you can just use the hashtag Safari Live if you're on Twitter. And we've had a wonderful morning so far. We had started sunrise with a lovely pride of lions, and now we're on the hunt for elephants. So I'm just going to stop here and sit quietly for a minute or so, see if I can hear the elephants feeding. There's no sign of the elephants going the other way. Nothing yet. From Arizona. I heard a bird calling while we're sitting at the lines, and it was a special call, and I said I'd play it when we'd left the lines, so I will do that right now. So as far as I know, it was bird species number 155 on the live drives, and we saw it last week, and it's a very pretty little owl called a barred owlet. Fortunately, my iTunes seems to be crashing. I will try. I'm just going to restart everything. Hopefully that makes a difference, because I definitely can't imitate that call. I left just air from there, space for 2. Stefan and Scott coming. Liz from Milwaukee. Liz saying that yesterday Mark saw a secretary bird yesterday, and he's mentioned how rare it was to see, and how even rarer it was to see them in flight. I was very, very lucky where I worked in the south of the Sabi Sands. It's a lot more open grasslands there, and we actually had 2 nesting pairs, so we knew where the nests were, so we would probably see them once every 2 days in that area. And outside of this area, I've seen a lot in the open grasslands of East Africa and Botswana, but it is a more open grassland species than a closed woodland species, so in this area it's very, very rare to see. Leslie says it looks very green. Have we had much recent rain? And is it normally this green at this time of the year? Well, Leslie, it can be. We actually have had 3 little bouts of late rain, and that has greened up the bush quite a bit. But it just depends on the year. We had a little bit of rain last night, strange enough. Very, very little though. More of a sprinkling. The big thunderstorm around, but it didn't actually bring that much rain. But it is, I wouldn't say it's overly green for this time of the year, with that late little bits of rain we had. So, the area I'm checking at the moment is an area where Karula's been seen a couple of times in the last few weeks, or the last week. For those of you who don't know who Karula is, she's the dominant female leopard in this area. So I'm just having a quick look for tracks here. There's quite a lot of debate on whether she's pregnant or not at the moment, so I want to have a good, proper look at her, see if we think she is pregnant. That would be very, very exciting going forward. At the same time, we're doing a wider sort of loop around the area where the elephants were last seen, just to see if the tracks pass any direction. Wonderful sort of winter's morning. Bit of a chill in the air this morning. Now warming up quite nicely. Very few clouds in the sky. Good morning, Claire from New York. Claire would like to know whether instinct plays a role to prevent inbreeding in lions and leopards. Very interesting question, Claire. I'm not 100% sure. I think, I suppose it does, if you think about it. So, although lions I know can sort of inbreed for up to 6 generations without too many adverse effects. It's just the way they're sort of designed with leopards. But sort of those instinctual responses to chase the young male out by the older males in both species, I suppose that is instinct. So I suppose that is the predominant factor in minimizing inbreeding, and that the fact that most of those young males end up far away from their natal areas or natal prides. So yes, I think instinct probably does play quite an important role. quite a few of you asking, in particular Ellen and Villeray, about the update on Quarantine's kill in the tree. The last I heard, they're still there, but apparently we're not able to get a very good visual from where we are allowed. But we can try once all the vehicles have cycled through to see what we can see there. But apparently the last I heard, both Quarantine and Nkuhuma were both in the tree. So that could be very interesting. Unfortunately, just out of our traverse area, but we'll see if we can sneak along the boundary and get a squiz a little later. Scott or Steph, do you copy? So, I haven't found any tracks of either that Karula or the elephants. So I've started heading down towards Buffelshoek Dam. Never know what appears at Buffelshoek Dam. Kathy from Nebraska. Kathy would like to know whether we ever get snow in the area. Kathy, if we did, I would leave. Full stop. No, we don't. We are in the Lowveld, which is probably on average around between 200 and 400 meters above sea level. So in Africa, that's sort of very, very low for the possibility of snow. We do get snow in the Drakensberg Mountains occasionally, and but no, not here, thankfully. And so that people looks like a young male hippo. We've got some Egyptian geese. A very good friend of mine, when she was young, she couldn't say Egypt or Egyptian, so she used to call them pyramid ducks. Very, very quiet. It's always good to stop and listen. So you can see that the little gardenia is moving quite extensively. So it's probably not the best tree you want to be in. So obviously we're not going to be able to see whether this is Quarantine or Nkuhuma while it's in the tree. It's going to be very difficult. But
when we came yesterday, Quarantine was in that exact spot, so I'm guessing that's where the kill was. But that's not saying who's in the tree now.
Exactly, but I know from what I heard on the update this morning, both of the leopards were in the tree. So it looks quite precarious. And you can see the hyenas underneath are still very curious. And obviously, because that tree is not exactly the most ideal tree to put a kill in, so you probably find that he put that in the tree under pressure, possibly from hyena. I don't know if you can see it there. You might be able to see a bit better from there, Andrew. I think I can see. I thought I saw a bit of meat. You can try to see a bit more about what's going on. Maybe a bit back. Oh, there we go. We can see he's feeding. It looks to be an impala. I'm not sure. It's difficult to see. Text coming. Now I'm trying to see where the other leopard possibly is. And it's so difficult because we can't go all the way across there. Text coming. Oh, male impala. There we go. You saw the horns. As he moved there. Quite a precarious spot he's in. Can't imagine lying in a gardenia like that's particularly comfortable. So all I saw that he was chewing on the skull. I didn't really actually see any of the rest of the carcass. Still trying to figure out where Nkuhuma is. So I suppose maybe one of the benefits about feeding in a gardenia tree like that is that it's very unlikely that anything's too big is going to fall out because it's so full of spindly branches it's going to catch anything. So Oh, there we go, something dropped. Hyena's tore in. They're fighting over the scraps. Oh, there's the winner. Good morning, Rena. Rena's tweeting us this morning. Rena would like to know, are these the same hyenas that were here yesterday? It's quite likely, Rena, and hyenas are incredibly patient under carcasses that leopards have hoisted, and they'll often wait sometimes 3 or 4 days just for those few scraps. I'm just trying to wait until I can get hold of one of the other guides there to see if they can sort of point us in the right direction of the other leopard. Good morning, Anna Marie. Anna Marie is asking, since what we saw with the wild dog pack and hyenas yesterday. Anna Marie, I'm just being called on the radio. I'll get back to you in a second. Standing by. Sorry, Anna Marie. She'd like to know what's the biggest prey species I've seen a wild dog pack take down. And me, that would definitely be an adult kudu bull. I've seen the pack of wild dogs take down an adult kudu bull. But I have heard from a friend of mine who works in Botswana, and I've seen photographs of them taking a sub-adult buffalo out of a herd of about 1,000, which is really, really rare. So I'm going to stay here for a few more minutes and try to figure out where the other leopard is. Good morning, Chris from South Australia. Chris would like to know why do leopards feed one at a time when lions, when lions tend to feed all at the same time? Well, Chris, the lion is a social cat. Leopard is a solitary cat. So lions move and live in prides and feed in prides, whereas leopards would prefer to feed alone. When you have more than one leopard at a kill, it's generally a bit of thievery going on. normally by male on female or male on juvenile male. Take some coming. I can't really see what he's chewing there still. Has anyone managed to get a good enough view of any of them? I know you guys are absolutely fantastic at eye-doing these leopards. So has anyone managed to get a good enough view? I know it is a very difficult view to see which leopard this is, whether it's Nkuhuma or quarantine. You can send your answers to questions@wildearth.tv, or if you're on Twitter, just use the hashtag #SafariLive. To me, it still looks like he's just feeding off the skull. There can't be that much food on it, and I don't know where the rest of the kill is or how much meat is left. It's amazing the patience of the hyenas. They can wait around a carcass for days just to get enough scraps, a few scraps. And remember, they will also eat the bones that the leopard can't, breaking them open for marrow. I'm going to scoot forward a little bit. I'm going to just try to have a look in that other Timbueti tree where maybe Nkuhuma is lying, or quarantine, or the other leopard, the second leopard, is lying in that tree. I'm just going to... I can't really see anything. Let's go back. How's that for you, Andrew? Above?
Yeah, to the left.
Okay, well, I can't see there from where I'm sitting. Andrew thinks he's spotted. I'm not sure if that's just a knot in the tree. Just slowly check through that tree with the camera. We'll see if we can spot it. Stop there. No. Mm-mm. That's the same?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ellen, Janet, and Virginia all think it's cute. I tend to agree with you. I didn't have a good look, but I did see what looked to be that landing strip on the leopard's back, so I think it could be quarantine. Ryan coming. Ryan coming. What's your position? What's your position? Okay, copy. Yeah, there are 3 Buffalo's Hook vehicles here, and me. So he dropped the head, and off the hyena goes with its reward. See, I didn't actually see the leopard feeding off anything else, so I'm not sure how much meat is actually left or where the rest of the meat is. But there's one hyena left there, so it probably means there is still some more meat. Oh no, it's got a bone. There we go. Up and up the other tree, because that tree looks a lot more comfortable than the gardenia. But I still, I can't see. Maybe it was, I don't know. Nice camera work, Andrew. Now the big question, is there another leopard in that tree? And if so, where is it? He's coming back down. And up over the dam wall. Well, that's pretty decent sign that those of you wondering the kill, how much was left, I'd say it's gone. There's a dam and some water just across there. So it's very likely that... You see something?
Still some movement there.
No, I think he's going to go down over and go have a drink. So I'm not sure where the second leopard is yet. Texan coming. Go ahead. FM, and it's just fumbled into Buffalo's Hook. I think the Mala's pellet. Okay, guys. Well, now we know, at least, what's going on, and that the kill's finished, and I could only see one leopard. Whoa, that was close. I nearly reversed myself into some serious thorns. I'm just going to try have a look from a different angle, but I'm pretty sure I could only see one leopard while we've been here. So maybe the second leopard has moved off. The hyenas are starting to move off. Well, one already has. The second one is moving off now. So pretty sure that's all done. Let's see where the hyena's going. Well, everything's off, so shall we be. So apparently there's quite a few of you guys who'd like to check the hyena den this morning. Well, it's already a bit warm for that, and I just got over the radio that one of the Juma vehicles has been there and it is not active. I know everyone seems to be quite worried about that hyena who got bitten by the wild dogs. I'm pretty certain that it's more than likely one of these two that are here, and I didn't see any sort of real damage. The daylights out of hyenas on many occasions, and the hyenas make a lot of noise and make it sound like it's the end of the world is coming, but I've never really seen them ever do too much major damage to a hyena, or the wild dogs to a hyena. I just went over the down wall. It's Buffalo's Hook. There's no visual. Nisi left. I think Nyama is finished. I've been trying to get hold of them in the sighting as well. I haven't got any luck. You bypass, no problem. There's a squirrel alarm calling. And we know that there's one leopard there. Could very easily be another leopard here. Just have a quick look. And we've found both Nkuhuma and Quarantine in this area quite often. I said that alarm calls of that squirrel in this general area. Let's have a quick look around. No harm in checking. So for those of you who might have joined a little bit late or new, we've had a fantastic morning so far. We started our sunrise with lions and had a wonderful sighting of the Nkuhuma pride. And we went looking for some elephants. Unfortunately, we weren't successful with the ellies. And now we've just left a leopard that had a kill. And it seems to have finished the kill, and the hyenas ran off with the remains of the horns. And we just heard some squirrels alarm calling. And we're just checking. Oh, well spotted. Where is that? On the other side of the car. I was looking in the wrong direction. Some wild cotton. I'll go grab a piece now.
It's totally wild, or just seeds scattered from...
Totally wild.
Awesome.
Let me go grab a piece of it now so we can... Okay, I think it's probably going to be easier if we do it up here. So we can see it's wild cotton. Oh, sorry, let me just turn that down so I can hear myself think. So it's been used by the early settlers in Africa as what you would expect. Stuffing for pillows and duvets. I mean, imagine how much you would have to collect to actually do that. One of the more interesting things, this one's been eaten, it looks like. And it's quite damp this morning, but you can see, so you actually have to pluck the cotton off like that. Oh, there we go. Now there's a squirrel alarming, a Franklin alarming behind us. We'll go check now, but you see the seed. It's quite difficult to get to with all the fluff around it. Just break it open and see if you can see it nicely there. So this white powder from the inside of the seed. So a lot of early hunters, and again something you'd have to collect a huge amount of, would mix that with some other stuff, and you could use it as a gunpowder substitute when they run out of gunpowder. So quite flammable. Also, Bushmen used to keep sort of wild cotton. So a lot of early hunters, and again something you'd have to collect a huge amount of, would mix that with some other. So, as I was saying, the two main primates would be sort of the vervet monkey, which is part of the green monkey sort of super species. There's a few of them, and they all derive from a similar ancestor. And then the chacma baboon. So I just heard Scott has found some fresh male leopard tracks. So we're going to head into the area to go give him a hand. in the area where Scott had those tracks, so we're going to listen very, very carefully. Yo, they are very, very fresh. They're actually on top of Scott's tracks from this morning. I don't know if you can see them there, Andrew. Big male leopard tracks. Really nice and clear in the sand this morning. So they're on top of the vehicle tracks from this morning. It's always a good sign. So I can spot Steph and Scott off tracking. You know, lined up, waiting on a tree for me like last time. I don't know what's wrong with you this morning.
Give us a bit of time. We're getting on it. Hello, everybody.
Morning, everyone.
So how you guys? How's your morning been so far?
Very enjoyable.
Awesome.
Very enjoyable. Unsuccessful in terms of tracking, but we tracked a female leopard for quite a long distance, all the way up to Buffelshoek Dam, and then she disappeared. And then interestingly, just on our way, we were planning on going and having a quick look at the lions. We came across these male leopard tracks.
Nice and fresh as well.
Nice and fresh on top of our footprints from this morning. And Steph's just found some sign of him heading south.
Well, I'm definitely going to let you guys go ahead because you've got someone on the tracker seat, so obviously much easier to spot tracks, and I don't want to ruin the tracks. So I might go look at the lions and wait for you to call me for the leopard.
That makes perfect sense. You go ahead.
I'm just gonna duck off to the left again. Copy that. Confirm which English that is. I'm Telepan. Copy, thanks. If he crosses, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to vomit to Angala quickly. Alright, so guys, we're going to go back to the lions. Let's Scott and Steph do the tracking. So it's much easier when you get to sit on the tracker seat. So that's why I didn't want to drive down there. Obviously, if as a lot of you have watched God know how much I love tracking, but it is more sensible when you got a vehicle that has a tracker seat to let them go ahead, because they're less likely to miss tracks than you are. And we've got them working in our favor. might be new and not quite sure what's going on, we are on a live African safari, and at the moment, in the next few minutes, we're going to be going to look at some lions that we found first thing this morning, but also that we're an interactive safari, so you can participate from home. You can ask me questions about the animals and what we're seeing out on drive, and you can do that by using email, and the email is questions@wildearth.tv, or you can use the hashtag Safari Live if you're on Twitter. Pretty certain those lions haven't moved very far at all from where we left them. Now it's even warmer than it was, so I'm quite sure they are flat cats in the shade. And just another exciting thing for all of us here is that obviously those who watched yesterday afternoon was the brand new bushwalk, and also the fact that Hayden and Peter will be arriving very shortly and start to take some drives as well, which is very, very exciting. And some very, very good news. Very, very good news. Actually, this deserves a stop. We need to actually take a moment for this. The very good news is that Jigger is out of hospital. She's been sorted out. She's been giving lots of TLC and lots of oil and fluids and all that other nonsense they put inside engines. And she is on her way back home to join us. So we'll be back up and running with 2 vehicles again shortly. Jigger just needed some TLC to make her more reliable, and we're very happy she's out of hospital and be joining us very soon. Standing by. Sorry, go again. Negative. I've made my way back towards us. Ngala, there was nothing heading north. So, we left the lion sleeping almost right here. And I'm pretty sure they haven't moved very far. We'll see shortly. Nope, not moved at all. They just moved into a bit of shade from where they were lying out in the open. We have a very, 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 very big pile of flat cats. So, lazy lions. You can see they have eaten something. Doesn't look to be something particularly huge, but they definitely have eaten something. Good morning, David. On Twitter, David would like to know, do lions eat absolutely everything at a kill in one sitting, or do they stop when they are full? David, they will stop when they are full, but they will not leave the kill. They will stay very close to it, and as soon as they've digested, they will go back and start feeding again. I don't know if you guys can hear that tree squirrel in the background, alarming much better. Probably alarming at the lions. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is what lions do for the majority of their day. They lie around, and when it gets, their little patch of sand gets hot, they roll over to the next cool patch of sand. And when they've sort of exhausted cool patches of sand, they might get up. Nearly there. So it's this tree here. I'll get Andrew to show it to you. That's what I'm saying. I'm just get on the right side of the light, and then I'm going to go find a seed. I'm sure I'll be able to find one on the ground, I hope. Otherwise, I'll have to climb a tree to get a seed. I think I'm going to have to climb the tree. I can't see any on the ground. Oh, this tree looks like it's going to be quite difficult to climb. They're quite high. And the pods are quite high. Well, let's see what we can do. Let's use that. Yeah, see, I'm clever. I'm clever like that. It's not my first rodeo. Well, we'll check on the ground first. But if you can show the viewers, just zoom in on one of the pods. I'll see if I can find one on the ground. Otherwise, I will go grab that low one there. I can't find any.
You're gonna have to climb. Sorry, dude.
It looks like I'm gonna have to climb. Oh no, I found one. Haha. No, it's been eaten by termites. Put one there. Let's see if there's another decent one. Otherwise, up the tree for the morning exercise. Oh dear. And wearing long pants not the best for climbing. Oh! Oh!
Oh, watch out, Loiki.
You worried about me there, Andrew? After. Not the. Lose the boots. We're gonna go climbing. Whoops. Whoops. Oh. Hang here for a bit. I can't use these long pants, I can't get round. Long pants are not ideal to deal with the fruit. But too tight to climb up the tree. So it's a very distinct fruit. Let me put it over here. It can be seen. So very, very distinct fruit. Got a very big round edge to it. And then this very spiky looking center. So who thinks they can tell me what that is? You can send your answers to questions at wildearth.tv or use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. So, that was pretty useless attempt at climbing a tree. Moral of the story is I know now not to wear these particular pair of long pants when I have to climb up trees. Wasn't planning on that. I got up.
I think it was a battalier.
It was a battalier, I think. I didn't see the bird that Andrew was on. I was getting ready with the picture of the tree. But just to recap, it's been such a fantastic morning. Where I started off literally 5 minutes out with a beautiful pride of lions, the Nkuhuma pride, and then nice early morning playing, jumping, running around, and we were within lucky enough to stay with them till they sort of bedded down for the day. And then we left them, went looking for elephants, and luckily we didn't find the elephants. We went and followed up on that leopard sighting that Mark had last night with quarantine in Nkuhuma. We saw sort of what we think was quarantine from the brief visuals we could get. Finish off the impala, and the hyena got the horns and wandered off. From what I heard from the other vehicles, the Nkuhuma was lying on the other side of that dam wall, so we couldn't see. But hopefully they come back south this afternoon, so we've got a good chance of finding them. But yeah, and then some very bad tree climbing. But no, it's been a fantastic morning. Oh, this is not zebra wood. It is a very difficult one, and it's quite a rare tree, as I said, in this area. We're running it. I'll give you another few seconds before I tell you what it is. But I'm really looking forward to this afternoon. It's going to be interesting to see what those lions do when they move towards the water. We'll definitely have a quick check as we get going this afternoon. I think it's still going to be too hot for them to move too far. So we'll just check to make sure they haven't moved further into the drainage line. Finally! I have stumped everyone. I've received no other answers. Oh, and then I got so excited I closed the booming page of the book where I needed to be. It is called Wild Teak. Or its Latin name is Pterocarpus angolensis. It is a very, very hard wood. It's got a beautiful, they can become very big, beautiful trees. This one doesn't have any leaves on it at the moment, but you can see there's the fruit when it's ripe. They do dry out and make very, very nice ornaments. But it is a very, very, very sought after timber species, and that's what's led to it being quite rare in a lot of areas, is it's been cut down. But anyway, on that note, finally got one that got you all. Whoopsie. It's been a really, really great morning. I'm so happy you guys could join us. We're really privileged to be able to share our passion and love for the African bushveld with you. And I could look forward to doing it all again this afternoon. Thanks very much again to all our viewers all over the world. And join us again this afternoon. Have a wonderful evening or morning wherever you are. And from